Hi everybody, this is Gijs again with another review and I hope you are doing well. This time it's a review about a pair of binoculars. It is about the Eden ED8x42. So if you are maybe looking for a pair of binoculars for a nice year of bird watching in 2024, then you should definitely watch this video. Enjoy! And welcome back to the review on the Eden ED8x42 binoculars. But before I start with the review itself, it might be polite of me to introduce myself to those of you who just tuned into my channel for the very first time. My name is Gijs, I'm a Dutch outdoor gear and bike and sometimes gadget reviewer, and sometimes I do other stuff like binoculars. So if you like what I do at the end of this video, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Maybe support me through my Ko-fi account or do a very small donation thanks to the button below the thanks button, of course, on my YouTube channel, because that helps me to make more independent videos, because that's what I do. Nobody is paying me to make my reviews. I find the subject, sometimes brands contact me, but in this case, for example, the Eden ED goes back to the manufacturer when I'm done with the video. Now, that said, let's start with the review of the Eden ED itself. It's pretty unlikely that you ever heard of the brand Eden, because Eden, it is a brand that is been put on the market, I think it was last year, by the website knivesandtools.nl. And knivesandtools.nl, yes, it is a Dutch website where you can buy, for example, knives and tools, also binoculars and a lot of other stuff. They contacted me because they came with this new pair of binoculars and they wanted to have my opinion. Now, a little disclaimer, because this is absolutely the first time that I shoot a video on a pair of binoculars. The reason why I never did a video on it is just because the simple reason that I don't know how to shoot with a camera through the lens or through one of those tubes to give you a correct image on what I see through a pair of binoculars. Yes, I have got this adapter thingy, and then you can put it on top of one of the tubes and you can put your iPhone in there. I tried several, they're absolutely flimsy. Only Swarovski seems to have a decent one, but that one is very expensive and I'm not going to buy it for just one review. So I can't show you this. So the images that you will see of wildlife, of birds, of deer, that I've actually seen with this pair of binoculars in the last 6 or 7 months, all over where I've been in my travels, they are actually shot with the camera that I'm shooting this image. It's a Sony A7 Mark IV with a very nice 150mm, 500mm tele zoom lens. And I just assembled those images to look like that round image that you see when you look through these pair of binoculars. And the images that I will put in screen, they will actually give a pretty good view of how I experienced this one. So yes, it's trickery, it's fake, I don't like it, but I don't know how to do it otherwise. So if you know how to do this, then please send me an email or send it down in the comments below and I will definitely follow up on this, because I'm really curious to do more reviews on binoculars. Now, what I always like to do is tell a little bit about the area that I am in at the moment. You will see there is a lake behind me. Well, that's not a lake, actually this is a farm field where in the normal days cows are basically doing their business. I'm shooting this video on, I think it's the 9th of January, so in the beginning of January 2024, in case if you're watching this one way later. And yes, we just had a weeks of flooding. Behind there, sometimes you might see pass a ship in the background. There's also a yellow ferry somewhere. There is the river Maas. And because of the high water levels, everything from Germany, France, etc. ends up in the Netherlands. And that's when we get a lot of water, and well, basically this is where the flooding is. The green line on the background, that's basically the dike protecting that part of the Netherlands from the flooding of the Maas itself. There's another dike over there. By the way, it's -5 degrees, so I'm really wondering how my batteries are going to last, especially the one of the microphone on the camera, the DJI mic that I use a lot. And there's one in my jacket here as well. So I hope wind-wise the sound is going to be okay, because the wind is of course coming from that direction and it is pretty hard, as you can tell by the way from the farmer's field. Now let's start again with the Eden ED 8x42, where the 8 is 8 times magnification and the 42 is the effective objective lens diameter in millimeters. What I always like to do is measure every basically pack size and weight. The weights of the binoculars itself, I measured a minimum weight of 669.5 grams, and that is the minimum with a weight without the caps on the binocular, on the how do you call this? But let's say on the eye cups and also on the lens part, that part. The lens caps themselves, they weigh 45.7 grams in case you're interested. The weight that Eden claims is 723 grams. So my minimum weight is a little bit lower, but if you take, let's say, the lens caps with the minimum weight and also the strap that is in here, I'll tell you more about that later, together it weighs a total weight of 794.5 grams. So that is about 60 grams more than Eden basically claims. Now this is not a very compact binoculars, as you can see. The pack size at its smallest, and that means when the tubes are basically together, tied together, I measured a pack size of 65 by 120 and 137 millimeters. The body itself, it is made out of magnesium, and there is a rubber coating or a rubber-like coating on top, which makes it really very, very grippy. There is a structure on here, they call this the bean, the coffee bean structure. They really look like little coffee beans. It's absolutely nice. Let's have a look at the pouch, because the Eden also comes with a very nice soft pouch with a nice carrying loop, so you can put it around your neck if you like, or with a thingy here so you can put it on top of your belt or maybe somewhere on a backpack. The pouch itself, it is very well made, and it is made of a 700 denier Cordura, and Cordura is a 700 denier. It says something about the thickness of the thread, and it's a really heavy thread. Because of all this massive stuff, it weighs all by itself 242.8 grams. Now the zipper, it's got nice pulling thingies on there. You will see that in here there is the strap, the carrying strap for the binoculars itself. It's really a neoprene soft style, nice and curvy. I don't like wearing straps with binoculars, not even with my cameras. I always take them in the hand or put them somewhere else. There's also a cleaning cloth and a little manual in there, and in the lid itself there is a little zipper so you can put something small in there. Is the pouch waterproof? No, of course not, but it is quite water resistant to drops of rain. That's a little bit different from the Eden itself, because this one, it is rated IPX7, and really that is a nice rating for a binoculars on waterproofness. Let me take the lens caps off, because like I said, I never use them. This one is nice and separate. When you use the strap, it will dangle from the strap, but these two that are in front, they are fitted here together with a sort of loop around the tubes itself. Now, if it is windy, they dangle around a lot. And it also happened to me that I lost them already once. So what I did is I just take them off and don't use them at all. If you take the binoculars and in the smallest size and expand them to the maximum size, this way of changing is about 17 millimeters. That means that basically the center line in the tubes itself, the distance between the pupils of your eyes, can be between 58 and 75 millimeters. And this is just something that I measured. What I do like is not only the grippiness, but I also like that there is this really very big focusing wheel in the middle. And even like now I'm wearing the gloves that my wife's grandma made when she was still alive. They're still absolutely super. It is very well usable with gloves, and of course also without gloves. And even with thicker winter gloves, they are still very, very usable. What I've noticed is that the focus, when you're trying to watch something and you need to focus, it is also very fast. So that's absolutely nice. The adjustment to your eyes is also very easily done, because on the middle, of course, there's this adjustment wheel, this focus wheel, but on the right barrel there is a diopter ring. And this diopter ring, that makes it you can adjust the barrel basically to your eyes. Like me, I have spectacles, both my eyes, they're not actually the same. So what I do, when I take off my glasses, when I don't take off my glasses, I just leave the diopter ring in the middle, neutral, then both tubes are doing the same. But when I take off my glasses, I first adjust the vision on this tube with the diopter ring, and this can be done from -4 to +4. So if your sight is below that, or even worse, if that's how I can say this, then this will not work for you. But if you're between that range, -4, +4, the next thing you do, you adjust it first to your right eye, and then you take the focusing wheel and you adjust the whole system to the left eye, and then you will have a very nice clear vision. In field practice, what you do when you use a pair of binoculars, in my case, because I wear spectacles, most of the time when I need to do it fast, I just take the binoculars and I put them to my glasses. Because in that way I have a very fast way of spotting an animal. When I'm a little bit more prepared, I take off my glasses and I fold out the eyepieces, because now I got this on front of my face, basically closing onto my skin and making that I see really nice dark. There's no space anymore with false light coming maybe between my glasses, and that will ruin a little bit of what I'm seeing, my experience with this one. The eye cups, how this works, top notch, absolutely super. It's fast, there's a click in if you want to do it, let's say halfway. It's a bit to your personal liking. Absolutely super. But now, there's one thing there where it basically goes wrong. Because when I take the binoculars, because I see a rare bird, I see a deer, I take it, and for example now with my hat on, if I want to take off my glasses, adjust everything, it's going to take a little bit of more time, and then maybe the bird is gone. So what I do, I take the binoculars and I look like this, pretty fast. And this is where I discovered a design flaw in the Eden. Because if you look very closely, and I will put a detail of course in here so you can really see it nicely. Basically the metal ring that holds the ocular, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, the metal rings, they are higher than the rubber protection thingy. And I will demonstrate this with my Mitutoyo measuring device that I also use to measure the pupil distance, that you will see that the metal ring, you will hear it even. Now, why is this bad? Well, simply because if I don't use the rubber thingies and I want to be fast, and I go into my glasses, this scratches my glasses, and that's something that I don't want. Now, this was very surprising to me, so I went to the Knives and Tools website, I looked at the pictures that they made of this Eden 2 sell on their web shop. And yes, it looks absolutely the same. So what did I do? I went into a lot of camera stores, binocular stores, bird stores, and I looked at a lot of different binoculars. And none of them had the metal ring sticking out of the rubber. And basically the binocular that I use a lot myself, it's not the most expensive one, it's a Steiner. But here you will see that the rubber piece is way above the ocular. And when I take it out, yes, it's the same as the Eden. So this is basically a design flaw. Now, of course, I sent my review to knifesandtools.nl. They commented on this, and I will read this to you. Because I found it very funny. First of all, thank you for the feedback regarding our newest Eden binoculars. For this particular issue, please allow us to briefly share the concept of the original design and a solution. The lenses for the Eden ED binoculars were added as such to ensure maximum eye relief and to provide the user with a comfortable viewing image. This means truly seeing everything without sacrificing the field of view at the edges. Okay, sounds nice. Then we go to the rest of their statement. If you wear glasses with convex lenses, there is a great and easy solution. All you have to do is simply twist up the rubber caps approximately 1.5 millimeters, or use the dioptric option to use the pair of binoculars without glasses. Okay. I did not answer on this email from them. I called them, we had a chat, they were going to investigate because of some sort of reason they found that what I did discover was still a little bit silly. Because if I wear spectacles, I don't know, maybe there are spectacles that don't have convex lenses, but I don't know anybody who has, well, not convex lenses. So if you have dome-shaped lenses like I have, they will always touch the metal ring. When I raise this for, like they suggest, 1.5 millimeter, there is not something like a notch. There is a notch, but that notch is about 4 millimeters. And when I do it at that, let's say 4 millimeters something, and I look through the lens, then yes, I've got a horrible field of view. A big part of what I'm seeing is basically thrown into the bin. So what I would advise you, if you are interested in the Eden and you wear spectacles, well, take your spectacles off when you're using this one and just twist out the eye cups, because in that respect it is absolutely a very nice pair of binoculars. A little pity that Eden or knifesandtools.nl reacted the way they did, and that they did not do a follow-up on my phone call. They promised me to talk to their specialist. It's made in China, by the way, not in the Netherlands, but I've not heard from them since, and it's been months by now, so I thought let's do the review anyway. Now, on the image quality, I already told you that I cannot really show you this, but I'm very, very happy with this. The glass itself, it's extra low dispersion glass. So that means that, well, there's not a lot of light being lost basically in the transmission. The image, also near to the edges, it is still very, very sharp. There's very little of focus lost anywhere. The field of view, which is also pretty interesting, because I don't only use a pair of binoculars for bird watching or deer watching, but I also bring it sometimes when I'm traveling with a backpack, because in the mountains it gives me a sight of the road or the path that is ahead of me, and I can search my way a little bit better than without, basically. And I always like to have a pair of binoculars with me. Now, the field of view at 1000 meters is 131 meters, and that's quite a nice number. It's pretty wide. but it still means that you see a lot when you take things closer. The image itself, it's very well balanced. Colors look very natural, and it's a very pleasant image to look or to watch at. Even if you're doing bird watching for a longer time, if you're sitting somewhere really steady watching the birds, you can do this for hours with this little pair of binoculars. One thing that I'm almost forgetting, and maybe you've seen one of my shorts that I did recently on the high water levels. I was there also bird watching with these binoculars. It was really absolutely horrible weather. It's been 3 months of almost grey and rainy. And then one thing is quite important, and that is the twilight factor, because then you can still see with very low light, well, basically things that you need to see. And the twilight factor is, if I remember this correctly by heart, it is 18.3. And I discovered that really in those darker days, and you know, when the sun is gone today, you will get darker periods as well. Yes, the binoculars is very, very usable for deer watching in those twilight times of the day. The closer focus is about 1 meter and 80 centimeters. They officially state 2 meters, but I measured this and I came a little bit shorter, which is nice, not maybe for bird watching, but if you like to watch butterflies in the garden, that 2 meters or 1 meter and 80 centimeters is very, very usable as well. And now it's time to head on to my verdict. How do I rate the Eden ED 8x42 binoculars? Well, what I absolutely do like is the pack size and the weight. It is rather small and it's not too heavy. 670 almost grams. I don't think that's too heavy. Yes, a lighter binocular can be handy in your backpack, but a light binocular is also less stable, so weight also has got a purpose. And I think this weight is absolutely fine, because it almost weighs the same as this one that I've been using already for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. It is comfortable to hold, with gloves, without gloves, in warm weather. It is very, very nice and grippy thanks to the structure on the tubes. I like the big focus wheel. It is really fast in focusing sharp, very usable with gloves and with non-gloves, of course. And I do like the eye cups because they twist out really easily, and they block light coming from the side when you are using the eye cups, and not, in my case, your glasses. Now, of course, the image quality, it's absolutely fine, especially in relation to the price. What you can expect for a binoculars like this, the price is absolutely, well, I think super, because it retails in the Netherlands for 379 euros. And that is a nice price to pay for a binoculars like this with the qualities, except for the fact that if you are wearing glasses, you really should take care of that metal ring. Don't use it like this with your glasses on, because you might damage your glasses, and that's something that you definitely don't want. And therefore, just because of this design flaw, I cannot give the Eden ED a very high rating. Otherwise it would end up somewhere in the 9 point something. But in this case, because of the design flaw, I can get no further than just 7.2 points out of 10 total. Now, I really hope you have enjoyed this review. I know I've enjoyed making it, because this is the first time in 3 months that I have had a full day of sun. I love the fact that there is weather. I love the fact that it is still -5 degrees. I love the fact that even my back, because it's the wind blocker for my microphone and for my setup, it's getting a little bit chilly. So I'll probably go and get another jacket to put it underneath when I'm going to wrap around, because I need to stay here for a moment, because the sun is already setting. Absolutely a wonderful day to do a review. And if the weather goes like this, we can do some ice skating later on in the week. Would love to do that. It's been years. Now, if you like my review, then please give the video a like and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, because with more subscribers, well, it's more fun for me to make reviews. If you've got questions, remarks, please post them in the comment section. I try to answer every one of them, because I like comments, positive, negative, whatever you can send me, please post it below. If there's something that you would like me to review, please ask. Do this also in the comment section. And for now, I wish you enjoy the outdoors and stay safe. Ciao, ciao! And now I still got to make all those detail shots. And I hope I can do this with my little slider to show you some really nice stuff. When I collected this log, it was near the water, there was ice on it. And the binoculars, it fell off the whole time. So that's why I turned it the other way around. Bye!